Hey guys, Brother Brewer here. I just was, uh, well, I'm just going to be blunt, man. Today has been hell. I mean, going through all of the stuff that we've seen today, I tried to write down and take notes on this stuff, but there was just too much stuff happening in one time. I mean, it's just... this whole clown circus that we've got from the ass clown in chief here. But today, some shit that really went down and pissed me off. This coward, the one who said that he was going to be the one to fight for the rights of our LGBT friends and family, and that Hillary would be the one that would put people in that would be harmful. Remember that? Nope, not so much. Because what he did in a tweet, because he was too chicken to do that in as a press conference, or where people could actually hear him, he said that the transgendered service members, transgendered men and women, are no longer going to be allowed to serve in any capacity in the U.S. military, effective immediately. Now, he did this, he said he consulted the Pentagon. Pentagon says, we ain't heard shit. So, right off the bat, he's lying about it. And he said it was a cost-cutting measure because it would be too expensive, too harmful to morale. It'd be too harmful to, and he wanted to ensure our troops' victories. Not so much. Again, because, let's face it, they calculated it out, and according to the Washington Post, it's about $90 million to give the troops boner pills. Seriously, they spend $90 million on Viagra. 1/10 of that is what they estimated it would cost the U.S. military to give their transgendered service personnel the proper medical treatment that they needed. That's including surgeries, that's including HRT, the whole 9 yards. All of it. 1/10 of what they spend on giving their troops boner pills. You could pay for the medical care of all of the transgendered personnel in the U.S. military by selling just one F-35, and still have plenty of money to keep doing it for the next few years, without touching the rest of the budget. You want to cut something? Cut the F-35. That's the biggest failure that the military has seen in I don't know how long. A couple of years ago, they flew it up as a test in the dogfight against an F-16. I don't know if you guys remember a movie that came out with an actor named Louis Gossett Jr. It's called Iron Eagles. Yeah, that was back in the 80s. The F-16s were around then. The F-16 whooped the F-35's ass in a dogfight. Kicked its butt. So I don't know what to tell you. I mean, you want to cut costs? There you go. Just start cutting cut a few F-35s out. Hell, cut one aircraft carrier. We spend billions of dollars just to keep one aircraft carrier operational. We have 11. China has 8. We have 3 more than China does. We spend more on our military than the next 3 nations combined. Don't tell me you can't find a spot to cut to take care of your transgendered service members. It's not about the cost. It's not about morale. Because just last month they were talking about doing a study. The head of the Defense Department was talking about doing a study, doing a moratorium on letting any more transgendered service members in, while they studied it to make sure that it was okay. It's going to be a 6-month study. 1 month into it, the ass clown this ass clown decides to just cut him out. And then, of course, they have to have a press conference because everybody's just got to know what's going on with it. So they have the White House press briefing with the daughter of the biggest shit shoveler to ever walk the face of the earth. And she's taking up the family business. Yep, I'm talking about Sarah Huckabee Sanders. She comes up and she holds a press conference. Stops taking questions. Everybody wants to know what's going to happen with the transgendered personnel that are already serving in the military. What's going to happen to the transgender personnel that have been discharged honorably? Are their honorable discharges going to stay that way, or is the DoD going to retroactively turn it to an other than honorable? Are the active duty service members that are transgender going to be forced out? Nobody is giving us any answers on that. And she eventually stops it and says, no, that's enough to talk about. This is not as important an issue. We need to talk about some other things here. If this is all we're going to talk about, I'm going to stop the conference. Really? You're messing with thousands of people's lives. And that's not important enough for you to take a few minutes to explain the plan, if there even is a plan. I doubt that anybody in this White House has any idea what's going on. None of them. I am willing to bet you that none of them have an idea what's going on. It infuriates me. And then to add insult to injury, we had the head of the Justice Department, the Secretary of Justice, Justice Secretary, whatever, Attorney General. Yeah, the Attorney General comes on. Oops, shit, wrong picture. I'm sorry. Jeff Sessions comes on, and his Justice Department has filed an amicus brief in federal court saying that LGBT people, folks that are lesbian, gay, transsexual, bisexual, transgender, asexual, the whole 9 yards, Title VII of the Civil Rights Code does not apply to them. Doesn't apply. In case you're wondering what Title VII is the nice little spot that says employers cannot discriminate against people based on religion, sex, color, race. The courts in the past have cited that sexual orientation and, to some extent so far, gender identity fall under Title VII, for the most part. And now, Jeff Sessions, asshole extraordinaire, Granny Clampett's illegitimate child, wants to just throw all that away. Thousands of more people whose jobs are going to be at risk, people that are already out and married, have families. If their employer decides that they don't want to keep them on because of their sexual orientation or their gender identity, they'll be able to fire them. No recourse. None. Again, doing this just to hurt people. Yeah, Cookie, I agree. I'd love to move to Canada or Mexico at this point, and here's some even more fun stuff. This is what's really funny, is that there were a few people that came out. I can't think of her name right now, but the beautiful woman on Orange Is the New Black, she played Frankenfurter. Anybody can remember her name in the reboot of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Her name escapes me right now. Jeannie, I might take you up on that offer, really. And yes, he is screwing the country up. But, she came out and said that this was a disgrace and this was awful. And then there was this joker. Yep. Caitlyn Jenner, airhead extraordinaire, comes out and says, you know, I never knew Trump was going to do this kind of thing. It's a complete and total surprise to me that this is happening. Honestly, I didn't know that the face-biting leopard was going to bite my face if I helped it. I don't know what's happening. Okay, and the reason I'm doubly pissed off about her is that she claimed just a couple of weeks ago that she had Trump's ear when it came to transgender issues. That Trump listened to her about things about the transgender community. Not so much. And even then, this is the last person that I would want to ask anything about the transgender community. Any of it. She's constantly been on the wrong side. And I swear, if brains were dynamite, I don't think that woman would have enough to blow her nose. I really don't. You want to know the truth? If Trump were really concerned about transgender issues, especially transgender personnel in the military, I know a couple people that he could probably have gone to. Yep. Let me introduce you first of all to Karla Lewis. Now, Karla Lewis has 2 children. They're both grown now. She's an Air Force veteran. She was forced out once she came out as transgender. She served for your right to hate her. She served for the right of Donald Trump to be able to pull this crap today. If Trump wanted to talk to somebody about people in the military, about transgender personnel in the military, there's one person that he could have talked to. But I'll go even better than that. If you don't want to talk to her, here you go. Let me introduce you to Caitlyn Beck. Or, excuse me, Christine Beck. Now, who is she? Nobody really important. She's just a retired Navy SEAL. Senior Chief, U.S. Navy. She had 13 deployments to Iraq and Afghanistan. She was part of SEAL Team 6, the team that went when they went in and killed Osama bin Laden. She is a decorated war hero. And Trump and his administration just pissed all over her. Of course, they're into water sport. Of course, you know, Trump's into water sports, so he may have thought she'd elected. I don't know. Point is, this is the person, one of the people that you want to talk to when you want to talk about transgender issues in the military. Not this airhead. Not this asshat. Not this whatever. None of them. Okay, she is a hero. She is a hero. When people come out and say, or try to say that transgender men and women can't serve in the military, these two say otherwise. Miss Beck says otherwise. They've served their country. And what's more is that these people want to serve their country. They want to join the military. If they didn't want to, they wouldn't try. If they didn't want to do it, they wouldn't try. Okay, transgender men and women don't join the military just to get the surgery. They join the military the same reasons that I did. Yeah, I thought that, you know, get an education, see the world, and whatnot, straighten up my life. But it was also to serve my country. Because I believed in it. I really did. So did they. And this is how we're repaying them. It's unacceptable. We have midterms coming up in 2018. we've got to try to flip it. And I'm not too sure that we can do it in Arkansas unless a lot of people get out to the ballot, get out to the voting booths. You realize that here in the state of Arkansas, here the home of Walmart Mecca, half of the population, of the voting population, thinks that Trump is still doing a good job. Half of them. 41% don't think this whole Russia thing is a big deal, if they believe it. The other 41% do. Those are the ones that need to start speaking out. We have got to mobilize. We have got to get out there. We have got to show this guy. Because this guy's a bully. Donald Trump is a bully. And the only way that you can stop a bully is to stand up to him. Take it from somebody who was bullied. It's the only way you're going to stop it. It's up to us. We got to do it. I'm going to go ahead and sign off now, guys. So I'm going to call this good night, and I'm going to tell you that on the podcast channel later this evening, I'm going to post my interview with Thomas Smith from Serious Inquiries Only and Opening Arguments. Both are excellent podcasts that y'all definitely should tune into. Both of them very good content, especially Opening Arguments. He and his friend Andrew Torres break down the legal issues of today and give you the solid scoop, not the media bias, or not the media stuff that you hear. You know, they give it to you straight, and any time that Torres has made a prediction so far, he's been right. So, you know, definitely go tune into them. You get to hear the interview later this evening when I post the audio show. Thank you guys for listening. Remember, get out there and vote when the time comes. Run for office. Show these guys that they can't push us around anymore. Let's beat them at their own game. Good night, guys.